Hi, my name is David J. Stubbs. I'm a rural American sports and black history maker. The federal government research said back in the 90s that I'm going to be known for closing a book on black history and also slavery. Now, this what I'm talking about right now with my college years. This was the third year golf. It called golf course tour. Everybody was looking forward to it. We've been looking forward to it for 3 years because it means that you almost to the finish line. But lots of people don't make it there. Normally, out of 40 students a year, only 20 or less make it there. But I never thought that I would be there. You know, I never thought that I would be there. But anyway, we went on tour. We get to the first place in Savannah, Georgia. You know, they got his father was famous for inventing a Bermuda hybrid for putting green, which is a big deal because the putting green where all the money at, where people make big money by putting. You know what I mean? But the guy was doing research on mole crickets, and we never seen nothing like it in our life. You know, mole cricket had to ate that whole golf course up. But that what he was doing, experimenting. So he wasn't using too much chemical. He was trying to find a mechanical way of breaking down the mole cricket population. You know, so we went there. That was great. Everybody loved it. You know, the whole class enjoyed that place. We enjoyed the guy. So we go to the next place. See black guys outside picketing. You know, and like what they picketing for? So we avoided them and we go on the inside. The superintendent looked for a class. The assistant looked for a class. They both went to college at the same college we went to. You know, they were talking great. Then they say, unfortunately, it's some negativity about the situation of being in the golf industry. And that negativity is niggers. They the dumbest, stupid, sorriest son of a bitches on this planet. And we working with the federal government right now, giving them millions of dollars to get us a new form of labor, which is Spanish labor, to replace the niggers. But once we get that done, it should be the most wonderful industry to work in. At that moment, Pete Dempsey, who it was his first year there, say, hold it, mate, because he's from Australia. Say, hold it, mate. I don't think my student David need to put up with this rubbishes. He said, David, come here. And the guy said, no, we ain't talking about him. We talking about niggers. And Pete Dempsey say, go on a bus and catch a break. I'll be out there in a minute, right? So I went on the bus, wondering what going on, man. What kind of shit is this? God damn. You know, I'm going to learn how to take care of nature and treat grass and trees and flowers, man. Where the racism coming in at? You know, I know they kept saying when I was going to school, the teacher, are you sure you want to be in this industry? Because we don't think they're going to accept no black man as a golf course manager, blah, 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 you know, especially the educated black man. You know, they say you might have a better chance just working without going to school and work your way up to being a boss man, but racists hate educated blacks more than anything in the world. So you'll probably get a job not being educated long as they think they training you, right? So, nah, I ain't going with none of that. So Pete Dempsey come there and he said, hey, how about you not doing a report on the tour? You can do a report on racism. And if you feel like it, how about interviewing them guys there? You know, so after a while I got bored of being on the bus. I went to interview the guys. They say, man, we've been here for 10 and 20 years, man, and they hire little white guys right out of high school, no experience. We train them, and then in about a month they our bosses. And then the white guy be complaining about pay, talking about, man, they start me with $12, and they say they were gonna give me $15 in 90 days. And they ain't even gave they just gave me a $2 raise, so now I ain't got but $14 an hour. And the black guys they looking at each other because none of them making over 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 $8. And I'm like, wow. Well, I'm glad I ain't got to go through that, because I figured since I had a degree that I ain't had to worry about that. But boy, was I wrong. I was dead wrong, because I was looking at my future. So we go back, right? We spend the night at the hotel. Pete Simpson said, you know what? Let's try to do both places tomorrow. So we get to Carolina now. We out of Georgia now. We're in the Carolina. Oh, run down place. It looked abandoned. It wasn't open, then. And we get there. And it was a superintendent. He went to college we went to, the same process. And also his assistant. He was talking about how happy he was to get the job and to get the opportunity to show them what he can do. And this golf course was beautiful, man. It looked like it had no houses under $20 million. It looked crazy, man. It's like a different world, a different planet. And he was talking good about what he gonna do to the golf course and this and that. Then all of a sudden, he looked strange, and he said, once we get past them niggers and get Spanish labor in, because we lobbying the government, federal government, and giving them millions of dollars to get us a new form of Spanish labor, so we don't have to worry about niggers who are the dumbest motherfuckers on the goddamn place. Pete Simpson say, hold it, mate, hold it. David, go sit on the bus. He said, I don't know who made this tour. I wish I could meet him. And then I went, sat on the bus. I ain't gonna lie. I cried a little, because I'm wondering what the hell I went to college for now. This is a big mistake. These are the guys who gonna hire me. These are the guys who over the golf course. They think that way because that's the way the owner think. Whoever you working for, that's the way you think. So I just stayed on the bus. And then next thing I know, I'm thinking we going back to the hotel, and they say the guy giving us a party. I said, what guy? They say the guy. So we get to this big old fabulous house, look like it worth about $75 million. And I'm like, God damn, he live here? And ain't nobody say nothing, right? So now we having a party. I see all the black workers across the bridge over there, right? So my white classmates say, hey, Doom, how about we help you tow the keg of beer over there with the bros, and you and the bros can chill, because they were trying to get me away from that guy. So as they were going with the keg of beer, and me, I felt somebody grab my shoulder. Say, hey, you ain't no nigger like them niggers over there. And all them black guys looking. And I say, man, what did you say? You ain't no nigger like them niggers over there on that island. And I say, bro, let me tell you one goddamn thing. I'm a nigger till I motherfucking die. Now you touch me a goddamn again, and I'm a crip walk all over your ass, man. Go find somebody to play with. You say, what you gonna do, little boy? So now Pete Dempsey come up. Got between them. He said, I advise you, mate. I heard stories about this guy will make a dead man turn in the grave. This guy is single-handedly fighting the claim and winning the whole while he went in college. Please leave him alone because we won't be responsible for the damage he do. And he said, what kind of damage this little goddamn boy gonna do? Pete Dempsey say, please, we're not responsible for your doctor bills because he is extremely dangerous. And all the rest of the students, Alan Savage, Arnie, Rose Shepherd, they always say, hey man, if don't get loose, it's gonna be bodies laying all over their backyard. And that man say, this little kid gonna do that? They say, trust me, if he get loose, it's gonna be hell to pay. So Pete Dempsey grabbed the guy and they walked back, and as they were walking by, he looked back. He said, that little boy can hurt me. Pete Dempsey say, sir, you don't want none. Trust us. Let me tell you some stories about him. So we went across the bridge, me and the fellows, we put the kite, and I went and sat down there. My classmate put the tag up. And I was just sitting there, and I looked up. I was surrounded by black guys with pencils and paper. I said, what's up? They say, man, we ain't never seen a black man like you before. And we ain't never seen a black man talk to a white man like that in these parts, man. You got to be some kind of part of history. I say, part of history for what? They say, sir, please give us your autograph. I say, my autograph for what? They say, man, you got to be the baddest nigga in history. I say, man, that ain't shit. I just looked up and went to college, man. I'm just like y'all, bro. And then they say, well, we ain't leaving till we get an autograph. And then I jumped up and said, man, damn that, man. Let's drink some beer and have fun. So we drinking beer. They telling me about the situation with their boss man and all that stuff. And they begging me, when I get out of college, please come to Carolina. They all would love to work for me, and they never seen a black man with so much power. And I'm like, what power? They say, well, you going to school with 40 white guys, and all 40 of them white guys going to be golf course managers, and you going to be a golf course manager. And we like the way you think. They say, you done told that man everything in 15, 20 minutes what we been wanting to tell that goddamn man since he been here. And we always laughing, So that was the end of the tour. And then the next place we went, to Hilton Head, we were classy, fancy, had gold-plated mailbox, gold-plated stop sign, everything was beautiful, and all he did was praise all his black workers. He praised them, he put them on a pedestal. The same state now. So that showed you the difference in quality. And then when we were leaving Hilton Head, across the street, it was old houses like in the slave days. And I felt the spirit. And William said, Doom, they're going to be rich someday because sooner or later, Hilton Head got to buy them houses. Because they asked for it to the owner with all these $1 million houses. And I said, yeah. And I felt the spirits. That is a story of Golf Course Tour from Hell. My name is David J. Stubbs, and you can get my books at davidjstubbs.com. Thank you.